Welcome to the Menopause Strength Plan. I'm Kirsty from Strength of Bloom Fitness, and today we are talking about protein and menopause. Protein is amazing if you want to build muscle, boost your metabolism, and support hormonal balance. So let's get into it. Protein is probably one of the most important and misunderstood elements of nutrition in menopause. And right before I get going, I just want to say this is not all about eating loads and loads of food or following a bodybuilder diet or plan. That is not this. This is all about giving your body what it needs to feel supported and so that you can work in sync with exactly what your body needs whilst also doing our other sessions with the workouts and the mindfulness as well. So you may have come across my channel as mainly a workout channel, a strength channel, workouts for menopause. And this is where these videos sit really nicely as complementary sessions to those workouts, because a session like today is highly relevant. We're talking about building strength in the workout space, but actually adding protein into your diet is really going to help you out. We're synthesizing protein all of the time. We're using it, we're building it, we're breaking it down all the time. Those muscles are always working. Your body is always repairing, and that's what protein is mainly used for. So making sure you have enough protein in your diet of the right quality, that good quality protein, is going to really make those strength workouts pay dividends. So you may have noticed that since you entered perimenopause or menopause, or you sort of got into midlife or anywhere near your 40s, people started talking about protein. And it is genuinely a really important and interesting conversation. So as you age, men and women, we go through a process called sarcopenia, where the muscles naturally start to reduce in size. Okay, it's really normal, it's really natural. And what we do is we use workouts to help to slow this process down and to continue to build muscle mass. And that's important for a whole raft of reasons, including keeping your blood sugar level stable, keeping your metabolism healthy, keeping your joints going. Okay, so it's really, really important for men and women to continue to move, to continue to lift, to reduce the effect of that sarcopenia. But ladies, when we reduce estrogen as well, we add that into the mix, it means that muscle mass reduces far more quickly than it does if we didn't have that in play as well. So adding the protein in to continue to build that muscle is really, really key. It is such an amazing supporting role in helping to regulate that blood sugar, to boost that metabolism up, to really fire up those muscles, because the bigger the muscles are, the more hungry for energy they are, the better the metabolism is going to be, and the stronger your muscles are, the more they can support your joints. So we know that protein is amazing for your muscles, but it's also really important for your bones. So your bones rely on protein to help with their structure. So it means that your skeleton and your muscles, and therefore your joints, are all working in tandem. They all need this protein. And if you're getting enough good quality protein into your diet, then you are going to have a nice, strong and stable skeleton and muscular system. So we understand that as we get older, the muscles start to waste away more naturally. So it stands to reason that to build those muscles up, we need a little more protein in our diets than we needed in our 20s and 30s. It is a genuine thing, it's not a gimmicky thing, but I will be talking to you throughout this video about the things that you can add in and the things to avoid. Okay, we'll be talking about some of the more marketing heavy strategies that you might see out there. So make sure you stick around for that, because if that's interesting to you, then you're going to want to hear this. If you've seen my sugar reset video, you will know that I covered cravings, and we've touched on protein and how important protein is in that video. So I just want to link to that video and loop back around now to say that protein is so important with helping to control cravings. So if you have been craving like mad, maybe you're doing this series in January after the highs and lows of the Christmas and New Year period, or maybe you're coming clean off the back of a summer holiday, this is going to be really important for you to hear. Protein helps to slow down digestion, and it helps to stabilize those cravings. It is not that your body is broken. It's not that you have a willpower problem at all. It's just that protein is going to help to regulate what is going on in your body. If you look at it this way, if your breakfast is mostly carbohydrate, from whatever reason, whether that's breakfast cereals, a bit of toast, or even fruit, then you are adding that sugar into your body, whether it's slow release or quick release. But actually what you're going to be doing is you're going to be creating the effect of peaking and then dropping back down again. Again, have a look at that sugar video. If you are having protein for your breakfast and starting your day off with that protein, that feeling of fullness is going to last for longer, and you're actually going to help to stabilize that blood sugar level a lot more across your day. So carbohydrate are not the enemy, sugar is not the enemy, absolutely not. But actually adding in that layer of adding that protein in as well is really going to help you out with the cravings, and you'll soon realize it's not a willpower thing, it's just maybe a slight mismatch in what you have been doing versus what you need. So what does protein actually look like to you and me? To us normal people, if you want to talk about adding protein into your diet, what does that look like? Because I'm sure, like me, you've gone around your local store or supermarket and you've seen products that say high protein or 22 grams of protein or protein yogurt, protein bar, protein shake, protein. It's everywhere. Protein seems to be everywhere. But how do you know whether it's right for you? In menopause specifically, when we're trying to avoid things that are going to jar and clash with the good intentions that we're trying to set. As we already touched on, in menopause, your body reacts much more to sugar and sugar cravings. So if you're eating these kind of prepackaged foods that are really high in protein, remember what they need to be prepackaged and have a good shelf life. They need loads of filler ingredients, and they also need sugar. So have a look on the label, make sure you're making an informed choice, because actually probably what's happening is that these are foods that have been processed, ultra processed, and have been packaged to make you the mass consumer to buy them because you know that you should be having protein, okay? Because you're making that decision for yourself, you've listened, you've learned, and you've taken that feedback on board. So what they're doing is they're really hijacking you at that moment where you're trying to make the right decision and saying, this is the protein you need, buy this protein. So I'm going to give you some real life swaps right now for those pre-packaged protein products, things that you can actually have that are going to be better for you and give you more, probably, if not the same amount of protein, but in a far more healthy and sustainable way. So I'm going to put them up onto the screen, take a screenshot or get a pen and paper and note these down so that you can make an informed choice next time you need to. Protein bars. Protein bars are basically chocolate or sugary cereal bars with added protein, and that's usually a protein powder. And if you're like me, then you can usually taste that. It tastes sort of like a grainy, gritty texture. So instead of your protein bar, go for something like Greek yogurt and berries, a boiled egg and a piece of fruit, cottage cheese on oat cakes work really well, or even a small handful of nuts and fruit, a trail mix, if you will. I'm not saying protein bars are evil, and they absolutely have a place if you're on the go and you want to grab a nutty bar and you want to have that sugar intentionally. Please feel free to do that. But just remember, they are not the complete package and they're not overly natural. Protein yogurts. So instead of a flavored high protein yogurt with lots of added sugar, go for a plain yogurt with a drizzle of honey, add your own fruits, seeds, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of spice. This way, if you're adding the sugar there and then, you are making that informed decision, you are making that informed choice, not the manufacturer. And that is really, really important. When you're being empowered about what goes into your body, you making those decisions intentionally is really, really key. Protein shakes. Okay, so instead of ready-made protein shakes with lots of sweeteners and lots of fillers, try a simple homemade shake. Add milk or unsweetened plant milk, add a protein powder with minimal ingredients, add some berries or bananas, and then maybe even a nut butter or seeds. This is going to support your blood sugar far better than anything with loads of extra ingredients, loads of fillers, loads of sweeteners, loads of sugar. This is going to be so much better for you. Real ingredients always trumps factory made ones. And those kind of foods that are labeled high protein snacks. So instead of these ultra-processed snack foods with protein claims, something really simple like hard-boiled egg or leftover chicken, hummus with vegetables, or cheese and apple slices, or even a little bit of peanut butter on some rye. That is going to really make a difference. So with the prepackaged protein foods, it's really important that the goal isn't to just sort of avoid them forever. There's going to be a time where maybe you need to take advantage of something like that. But just knowing the kind of thing you're looking for is really, really, really important. So how can you tell whether a pre-packaged protein product is actually a good choice or not? I'll keep it really simple here. Take a look and ask yourself, is protein one of the main ingredients? Is the sugar content low or moderate? And will it keep you full for a few hours? If the answer is yes, great. If the answer is no, then maybe if you can find something else that fits that criteria, then great. But if not, then just know this is a sort of a one-off or an occasional. So it's not about cutting this kind of stuff out completely. As with everything that I talk about, it's all about moderation. It's all about real life. None of us are living in isolation. It would be amazing if we all had perfect lives. It's just not the way it is, but it's just being really aware of what the choices are and how you can make a really informed decision each time, so you don't accidentally sabotage yourself by choosing something that you think is healthy, that you think is doing you good, but actually you are sabotaging yourself by adding too much extra sugar, and then you're seeing those highs and those lows that we're talking about trying to reduce. So we've talked a lot about types of protein and why have protein, but I haven't actually talked about how much protein. And this is the question that I get asked a lot. So again, I'm going to put on a graphic on the screen for you that you can take a screenshot of or just take a note from. So the standard protein recommendation is around about 0.8 grams per kilo of body weight, but really that's just a minimum to avoid deficiency. In menopause, research suggests women actually benefit from more, often closer to 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilo, because our bodies become so much less efficient at using protein as the estrogen declines. So how does this look? Well, it looks like we need to add in protein at every meal. So 3 times a day, you should be eating a meal, and within each meal, add some protein into those meals. Looking for around about 20 to 30 grams per meal for most women. Slightly more if you're very active or you're doing your strength training regularly. But as with everything, it's not just about a numbers game. Making sure that you're adding that protein in mindfully, especially if you haven't been up until now, anything is going to be a bonus. So just working into adding that protein in until it feels like a really intentional part of your food routine. The quality of protein also makes a big difference here. So again, looking back at those pre-packaged protein ideas, there tend to be not amazing quality protein. Things that are either from an animal source or a plant source or a mixture of both, if they are more natural, they're going to be a higher quality, less processed source of protein, which is what you want. Every time we put food through a process, we strip away an element of it. So having a food that is as least processed as possible is going to retain much more of its higher quality. So the kinds of things that you can expect to see from adding more protein into your diet more regularly are things like fewer food cravings, more balanced mood, ability to recover more quickly from workouts, increased strength if you're using the right workouts, and just generally feeling less fear around food, taking that control, really empowering yourself to make those right decisions. And I want you to really hear me now, because hopefully, as you've been listening to this video with me, you've been hearing that I have not been talking about diets or restrictive food behavior. I really want you to understand that we're not talking about eating less. We're talking about adding food into your diet intentionally, purposefully, of high quality, making sure that you are making the decisions that are right for you so that you can nourish your body, so that you can build the body that is going to support you, not just for now, not just for this week, but for years and years to come. I really hope you've enjoyed this chat with me. Next time we're going to be catching up and talking about essential nutrients in menopause. But until then, please don't forget to leave me a comment, a like, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do that. And I'll see you right back here for the next session.